Every sport has its icons, athletes who transcended their craft to redefine it entirely. Basketball has Michael Jordan, football has Pele, and rugby has David Campese, a man whose style, creativity and innovation left an indelible mark on the game. And at the heart of his legacy lies one of the sport's most celebrated moves, the Goose Step. A move so graceful, so deceptive, it could leave even the toughest defenders grasping at air. But this isn't just the story of a famous step, this is a story of the man behind it, David Campese. A maverick, a genius, and arguably the most electrifying player rugby has ever seen. David Ian Campese was born on October 21, 1962 in Queanbeyan, a small town in New South Wales, Australia. Growing up in a working-class family, young David was immersed in sports from an early age. But his passion for rugby didn't come immediately. In fact, as a child, he showed more interest in football, honing his agility and ball handling skills on the football pitch. It wasn't until his teenage years that Campese began to shift his focus to rugby union, playing for the Queanbeyan Whites. He quickly showcased a rare combination of speed, balance and an uncanny ability to read the game. Coaches recognized he wasn't just another talented player, he had something special, something different. Campese's early influences in football would later shape his playing style in rugby. The quick pivots, the deceptive movement, the ability to anticipate defenders, all of these skills would become the foundation of his unique approach to the sport. In 1982, at just 19 years old, David Campese made his debut for the Wallabies. It was clear from the outset that he was no ordinary player. In his very first test match against New Zealand, he scored a stunning try, giving fans a glimpse of his extraordinary talent.
Out to Allen, kicking across field for Campese. Now what will happen here? It's a try for Campese. Yes! Well, the 19-year-old in his first test.
What set Campese apart wasn't just his speed, it was his creativity. He was a player who dared to experiment, breaking the mold of traditional rugby, and in the years that followed, he would go on to redefine what was possible on the rugby field. Then came the Goose Step, a move so iconic, so audacious that it became synonymous with David Campese. The move was simple in theory, a sudden skip or stutter step that caused defenders to hesitate, allowing Campese to accelerate past them. But in practice, it was a masterpiece of timing, balance and instinct. Over the next decade, he became an indispensable part of the Australian team, with his daring playstyle and signature Goose Step baffling defenders and thrilling fans. At club level, he played professionally for his province New South Wales, a team renowned for its emphasis on attacking rugby, which perfectly suited Campese's flair and vision. His performances for them, where he honed his skills and dazzled audiences, mirrored the brilliance he brought to the international stage. Campese's career was filled with breathtaking moments, but his performances at the 1991 Rugby World Cup were nothing short of legendary. He played a pivotal role in Australia's first ever World Cup victory, scoring tries, creating opportunities, and of course, mesmerising the world with his Goose Step. In the semi-final against New Zealand, Campese delivered one of the most memorable performances of his career. A perfectly executed Goose Step allowed him to outmaneuver the All Blacks' defence, leading to a crucial try that would go down in rugby history.
Terry Wright earlier this year. Kearns throws one by Eels, Far Jones, Liner steps inside, swallowed by the All Blacks. Far Jones, Campese, David Campese all the way! A great try from the leading try scorer in world rugby, David Campese, came across and simply skated through the All Blacks defence.
By the time Australia defeated England in the final, Campese had cemented his legacy as one of the greatest players of all time. He was named the player of the tournament, a fitting tribute to his impact on the game. Campese's contributions during this golden era not only brought glory to Australian rugby, but also revolutionised the way the game was played, inspiring a generation of players to embrace creativity and flair. Campese's style of play was a blend of artistry and athleticism. He didn't just play rugby, he performed it. His unpredictability, his vision, and his willingness to take risks made him a nightmare for defenders and a dream for fans.
Our forwards, Australian forwards, didn't play as well as they might have.
No, I think it's a credit to Ireland. I think they put the pressure on and they made our players probably not play as well as they should have. I think it was, we're down to win or lose now, and we've just got to realise it's 80 minutes of rugby and we've got to dominate from the start. We can't afford to sort of take these in the first half and then sort of build up in the second.
After a storied career spanning more than a decade, Campese retired from international rugby in 1996, leaving behind a legacy that few could ever hope to match. With 101 test caps and 64 international tries, he was, and remains, Australia's all-time leading try scorer. Campese would return to club rugby with the newly formed Super Rugby side, the New South Wales Waratahs, where he would remain for 2 more years, scoring 30 points in 22 appearances. In 1998, at the age of 36, David Campese would hang up his boots, leaving as a certified rugby legend. In 2007, he was inducted into the Australian Rugby Hall of Fame, and 6 years later in 2013, he was inducted into the World Rugby Hall of Fame, putting him up there as one of the all-time greats in rugby union history. Off the field, David Campese was a family man, deeply committed to his wife Laura and their children. Despite the fame and accolades, Campese often describes himself as a private individual, preferring the quiet comforts of home to the spotlight of celebrity. He's also dedicated much of his time to giving back, supporting various charities and youth rugby programs. For Campese, rugby wasn't just a game, it was a platform to inspire and uplift others. After retiring from professional rugby, Campese didn't step away from the sport entirely. He became a coach, mentor, commentator, and an ambassador for rugby, sharing his knowledge and passion with the next generation of players. He also authored several books, reflecting on his career and offering insights into the game he loved. His outspoken nature and candid opinions have kept him in the public eye, often sparking debates within the rugby community.
I don't believe we should have a Kiwi coach. I mean, it's like, I was in New Zealand last week for the test, and they all said, oh, isn't Smith a good coach? I said, why? I said, what has he actually won? He hasn't won anything. Yes, he might have won in 6 Nations, but a World Cup is the ultimate for any sports player or coach, and he hasn't won anything. And we always seem to get a coach that's never won anything. We always seem to get the second best Kiwi coach, never the first best. But even, I must admit, the Kiwis are not anywhere near where they should be. I mean, they're a very ordinary team at the moment, even though they beat us last week. But Joe Smith's got no idea about our culture or history. We're mauling the ball from 22 metres out. We don't do that. That's not Australian rugby. We're used to counter-attack and attack from anywhere. We can't even do that. And I just think it's very, very sad that we have to go through this again with another Kiwi coach.
David Campese's influence on rugby is undeniable. The Goose Step has become a staple move, emulated by players across generations. But more than that, Campese's legacy is one of creativity, daring and innovation. David Campese didn't just play rugby, he transformed it. He reminded us that the game isn't just about brute force and strategy, it's about imagination, flair, and the willingness to take risks. The man who invented rugby's most iconic skill may have hung up his boots, but his legacy will continue to inspire players and fans for generations to come. With that all said and done, it's been your boy John Talks Rugby, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click on screen now to watch the entire history of one of rugby's most prestigious international tournaments, the Six Nations. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.